There is something quietly powerful about the way your mindset shapes how you age, and most people completely overlook it. You might think youth is all about genetics, expensive skincare, or luck, but the truth is, your thoughts are writing your appearance every single day. The way you see the world, the way you react to challenges, and the way you talk to yourself all leave invisible marks that eventually become visible. If you are someone who naturally stays curious, open-minded, and willing to grow, then you are already doing something that many people fail to do. You are protecting your youth from the inside out. Think about it for a moment. When someone is constantly negative, stressed, or stuck in the past, it shows. You can see it in their eyes, in the tension of their face, in the way they carry themselves. But when a person chooses to stay optimistic, not blindly positive, but realistically hopeful, they carry a different kind of energy. Their face is more relaxed, their expressions are softer, and their presence feels lighter. That lightness is not just emotional, it becomes physical over time. Your mindset directly affects your body, your hormones, and even the way your skin behaves. A growth-oriented mindset plays a huge role here. When you believe that life is still unfolding, that you can still learn, improve, and evolve, you naturally stay engaged with the world. You don't close yourself off. You don't become rigid. Instead, you stay flexible, and flexibility is one of the strongest signs of youth. People who stop growing often start aging faster, not because of time, but because of stagnation. But when your mind is active, your body follows that same rhythm. You move differently, you speak differently, and you carry a sense of purpose that keeps you alive in a way that goes beyond just existing. There is also something important about how you handle stress. A positive mindset does not mean you avoid problems, it means you don't let problems control you. When challenges come, you face them without letting them break you. That inner stability protects you from the kind of chronic stress that silently speeds up aging. Stress tightens your muscles, affects your sleep, and drains your energy. But when your mindset is strong, you recover faster. You don't hold on to negativity longer than necessary, and that alone can make a huge difference in how young you look over time. Another hidden factor is the way you speak to yourself. Many people don't realize that their internal dialogue is shaping their external reality. If your thoughts are constantly critical, harsh, or filled with doubt, your body responds to that tension. But if you treat yourself with patience, encouragement, and understanding, your entire system relaxes. That calmness reflects outwardly. Your face becomes more at ease, your eyes more present, and your overall energy more inviting. Youth is not just about smooth skin, it's about how alive and at peace you feel within yourself. Curiosity is another trait that keeps you young without you even noticing it. When you are curious, you stay interested in life. You ask questions, you explore new ideas, and you don't let routine turn into boredom. This kind of mental engagement keeps your brain active and your spirit fresh. It prevents you from falling into the trap of "I've seen it all," which is often where aging begins psychologically. When you still feel like there is more to discover, more to experience, and more to understand, you naturally hold on to that youthful spark. And then there is the energy you bring into every room. People with a positive mindset often have a presence that feels alive, calm, and grounded at the same time. They are not weighed down by constant worry or negativity. Instead, they move with a certain ease that others can feel instantly. That energy is magnetic, and it is often mistaken for youth. But it is not just appearance, it is the result of a mind that is not constantly fighting itself. So if you have ever been told that you look younger than your age, there is a strong chance that your mindset is playing a bigger role than you think. It is not something you can fake, and it is not something that appears overnight. It is built over time through the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you choose to see life. And the most powerful part is this: you can strengthen it. Because youth is not just something you are born with, it is something you continue to create with the way you think every single day. Another powerful reason you may look younger than your age is something most people underestimate, and that is how well you handle stress. Stress is one of the fastest ways to age the human body, yet it often works quietly, without immediate warning. It builds up in your system, tightens your muscles, affects your sleep, and slowly drains your energy. Over time, it begins to show on your face, in your posture, and in the way you carry yourself. But if you are someone who naturally manages stress better than most, you are protecting your youth in ways you might not even realize. Think about how most people react to pressure. When life becomes overwhelming, they hold everything inside. They overthink, they worry, and they replay problems again and again in their minds. This constant tension does not just stay in the mind, it spreads throughout the body. The jaw tightens, the forehead creases, the shoulders become heavy, and the entire system shifts into a state of alert. When this becomes a daily pattern, it accelerates aging. The body is not designed to stay in that state for long periods of time. But if you are different, if you know how to step back, breathe, and not let stress control your reactions, then you are giving your body something rare: recovery. Recovery is where youth is preserved. It is not about avoiding challenges, because challenges are part of life. It is about how quickly you return to a state of balance after those challenges appear. People who look younger often have this ability. They feel stress, but they do not carry it for too long. They release it, consciously or unconsciously, and allow their system to reset. This ability can show up in simple ways. You might notice that you do not overreact to small problems. You do not let every inconvenience ruin your mood. You have a way of putting things into perspective, understanding that not everything deserves your full emotional energy. That perspective is powerful. It protects you from unnecessary tension, and over time, it keeps your face more relaxed and your body more at ease. There is also a difference in how you process emotions. Instead of suppressing everything or letting it explode, you find a middle ground. You allow yourself to feel what is happening, but you do not become overwhelmed by it. This emotional balance prevents the kind of internal pressure that ages people from the inside out. When your emotions are stable, your body reflects that stability. Your breathing is calmer, your movements are smoother, and your overall presence feels grounded. Sleep is another area where stress plays a major role. People who carry stress into the night often struggle to rest properly. Their minds keep racing, their bodies stay tense, and even if they sleep, it is not deep or restorative. But if you manage stress well, you give yourself the chance to truly rest. And real rest is one of the strongest foundations of a youthful appearance. It repairs your body, restores your energy, and keeps your mind clear. Over time, this creates a noticeable difference in how you look and feel. Your body language also changes when stress is under control. Instead of being tense and closed off, you appear more open and relaxed. Your shoulders are not constantly raised, your movements are not rushed, and your expressions are not weighed down by constant worry. This physical ease makes you appear lighter, more present, and naturally younger. It is not something you try to do, it is simply the result of a calm internal state. Another hidden benefit is the energy you carry throughout the day. Chronic stress drains energy quickly, leaving people feeling tired even when they have done very little. But when you manage stress effectively, your energy remains more stable. You do not feel constantly exhausted, and you are able to move through your day with a steady, natural flow. That consistent energy is often mistaken for youth because it reflects vitality and balance. What makes this even more powerful is that stress management is not always about techniques or routines. Sometimes it is simply about your mindset and how you interpret situations. If you do not see every challenge as a threat, your body does not react as if it is in danger. That shift alone can reduce the physical impact of stress significantly. It allows you to stay calm in situations where others might feel overwhelmed. So if you have ever wondered why you seem to age slower than others, this could be one of the key reasons. You may not have a stress-free life, but you have a different relationship with stress. You do not let it take control of your mind or your body. You give yourself space to recover, to reset, and to move forward without carrying unnecessary weight. And in a world where stress has become almost constant for many people, that ability is not just rare, it is one of the strongest protections you have against aging. Another reason you may look younger than your age lies in something so simple that most people ignore it, and that is your daily habits. not the extreme routines you see online, not the complicated systems, but the small, consistent actions you repeat every single day. These habits may seem ordinary, even unimportant, but over time they quietly shape your body, your energy, and your appearance. You don't notice the impact in one day or one week, but months and years later, the difference becomes clear. Think about how the body responds to consistency. It adapts to whatever you give it regularly. If your routine includes even basic care, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, moving your body, then you're off to a great start. And eating with some level of awareness, your body begins to function more efficiently. Your skin stays more balanced, your energy remains more stable, and your overall system works with less strain. These are not dramatic changes, but they accumulate. And that accumulation is what preserves youth. Sleep, for example, is one of the most underestimated habits when it comes to aging. Many people sacrifice it without realizing the long-term effects. But if you naturally prioritize rest, even without thinking about it too much, your body gets the time it needs to repair and reset. During sleep, your system restores itself, your skin regenerates, your mind processes the day, and your energy is rebuilt. When this happens consistently, it shows. Your face looks more refreshed, your eyes more alert, and your overall presence more alive. Hydration works in a similar way. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it plays a major role in how your body looks and feels. When you stay hydrated, your skin maintains its elasticity. Your body functions smoothly, and your energy levels remain steady. Dehydration, on the other hand, can make you look tired, dull, and older than you actually are. If drinking water is already part of your daily rhythm, you are supporting your body in a way that many people overlook. Then there is the way you move. You don't need an intense fitness routine to benefit from movement. Even regular, moderate activity keeps your body active and responsive. It improves circulation, supports your posture, and keeps your muscles engaged. Over time, this creates a natural sense of vitality. You walk differently, you stand differently, and you carry yourself with more ease. That physical presence contributes to a younger appearance more than most people realize. Nutrition also plays its part, but not in the strict or restrictive way many assume. It is not about perfection, it is about balance. If your eating habits include a variety of nourishing foods, your body receives the support it needs to function well. This affects everything from your skin to your energy levels. When your body is properly nourished, it doesn't have to work as hard to maintain itself, and that efficiency helps slow down visible aging. What makes these habits powerful is not just what they do individually, but how they work together. Sleep supports recovery, hydration supports function, movement supports strength, and nutrition supports overall health. When these elements are part of your routine, even in simple ways, they create a foundation that protects your youth. You don't need to think about it constantly, because it becomes part of who you are. There is also something to be said about discipline, even if it is quiet and unintentional. People who maintain consistent habits often have a certain level of self-respect. They take care of themselves without needing external pressure. This consistency builds over time, and it reflects in how they look and feel. It is not about being perfect every day, but about returning to those habits regularly enough that they become your normal. Another important factor is that good habits reduce the strain on your body. When your routine supports your health, your body doesn't have to fight as hard to stay balanced. This means less internal stress, better recovery, and more stable energy. All of this contributes to a more relaxed and youthful appearance. Your face is not constantly showing signs of fatigue, and your body is not carrying unnecessary tension. Even your mental state is influenced by your habits. When your routine is stable, your mind often feels more stable as well. You are less likely to feel overwhelmed or out of control. That sense of balance reflects outwardly, creating a calm and grounded presence. People often associate this with youth because it feels light and natural. So if you have ever wondered why you seem to age differently than others, your daily habits could be a major reason. They may not be perfect, and they may not even be something you think about often, but they are working in your favor. Every small action, repeated over time, is building a version of you that is stronger, more balanced, and more resilient. And in the long run, that is exactly what keeps you looking and feeling younger than your age. Another hidden reason you may look younger than your age is something deeper than physical care, and that is your level of emotional control. This is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It is about understanding your emotions, managing them wisely, and not allowing them to take over your entire state of being. Most people underestimate how strongly emotions affect the body, but over time, emotional instability can leave clear marks on a person's face, energy, and overall presence. Think about what happens when someone is constantly overwhelmed by anger, frustration, or anxiety. These emotions don't just pass through, they linger. They tighten the facial muscles, create tension in the body, and slowly become patterns. The forehead stays tense, the jaw clenches more often, and the eyes begin to carry a certain heaviness. Over time, these repeated emotional states start shaping how a person looks. It is not just aging, it is accumulated emotional weight. But if you are someone who has learned, consciously or unconsciously, how to regulate your emotions, then you are protecting yourself from that kind of buildup. You feel emotions, but you do not become controlled by them. You allow yourself to experience what is real, but you also know when to let go. That ability to release emotions instead of holding on to them is incredibly powerful. It keeps your internal state lighter, and that lightness eventually shows on the outside. One of the key differences is how long you stay in a negative emotional state. Everyone feels anger, sadness, or stress at times, but not everyone stays there. If you can move through those emotions without getting stuck, you reduce the long-term impact they have on your body. Your system returns to balance faster, and that balance helps maintain a more relaxed and youthful appearance. It is not about avoiding emotions, it is about not letting them define your baseline. There is also something important about how you handle conflict and difficult situations. People with low emotional control often react immediately and intensely. They raise their voice, hold grudges, or replay situations again and again in their minds. This creates ongoing tension that doesn't fade easily. But if you are able to pause, to think before reacting, and to choose your response carefully, you avoid unnecessary emotional strain. That calm response becomes part of your identity, and it reflects in your overall presence. Another factor is forgiveness, whether it is toward others or yourself. Holding on to resentment is one of the heaviest emotional burdens a person can carry. It keeps the body in a state of tension and prevents true relaxation. But when you learn to let go, you free yourself from that weight. This does not mean you forget or accept everything, it simply means you are not allowing the past to constantly disturb your present. That sense of release creates space for calmness, and calmness is closely linked to a youthful appearance. Self-awareness also plays a major role. When you understand your own emotional patterns, you gain more control over them. You start to recognize what triggers you, what drains your energy, and what helps you stay balanced. This awareness allows you to respond instead of react. It gives you the ability to choose how you want to feel, rather than being pushed around by every situation. Over time, this creates a steady emotional state that supports both your mental and physical well-being. Your facial expressions are also influenced by your emotional habits. If you are often tense, worried, or frustrated, your face naturally reflects those emotions. But if your emotional state is more stable, your expressions remain softer and more relaxed. This does not mean you are expressionless, it means your face is not constantly carrying tension. That relaxed appearance is often interpreted as youth because it feels natural and at ease. There is also a deeper level of peace that comes with emotional control. When you are not constantly reacting to everything around you, your mind becomes quieter. You are not pulled in every direction by external events. Instead, you remain centered. This inner stability affects how you move, how you speak, and how you connect with others. People can sense that calmness, and it creates a presence that feels grounded and balanced. Over time, emotional control becomes less about effort and more about habit. You no longer need to think about every reaction because you have trained yourself to respond in a healthier way. This consistency reduces internal conflict and keeps your energy steady. And when your energy is steady, your body does not experience the same level of strain that leads to premature aging. So, if you have ever noticed that you seem to carry yourself differently, that your expressions remain more relaxed, or that you do not get overwhelmed as easily as others, this could be one of the reasons you look younger than your age. Your emotional control is not just protecting your peace, it is shaping your appearance in ways that most people never fully understand. Another reason you may look younger than your age has nothing to do with your skin, your genetics, or even your daily routine. It is the way you carry yourself. Your body language speaks before you say a single word, and it quietly tells the world how you feel, how you think, and how you see yourself. Most people don't realize it, but posture, movement, and presence can instantly add or subtract years from how you appear. Think about the difference between someone who walks into a room with low energy and someone who enters with a sense of ease and confidence. The first person may not actually be older, but their posture, slouched shoulders, lowered head, slow and heavy steps creates the impression of fatigue and age. The second person, even if they are older, can appear younger simply because of how they move. Their back is straight, their steps are steady, and their presence feels open. This is not about perfection or performance, it is about natural alignment between your body and your inner state. When your posture is upright and relaxed, your body functions more efficiently. Your breathing improves, your muscles are not under unnecessary strain, and your movements feel smoother. This physical balance creates a kind of lightness that people associate with youth. It is not forced or exaggerated, it is simply the result of not carrying excess tension. Over time, this way of holding your body becomes your default, and it shapes how others perceive you. Movement also plays a big role. Youth is often associated with fluidity, the ability to move without stiffness or hesitation. If you naturally move with a certain rhythm, if your gestures are open and your pace is steady, it creates an impression of vitality. On the other hand, when movements are rigid, rushed, or restricted, they can make a person seem older than they are. The way you sit, stand, and even turn your head contributes to this overall perception. There is also something powerful about openness in body language. People who keep their posture, open shoulders relaxed, arms not constantly crossed, eye contact steady tend to appear more approachable and alive. This openness reflects a level of comfort within yourself. You are not trying to hide, and you are not closed off from the world. That sense of ease creates a youthful energy that goes beyond physical appearance. Your facial expressions are part of this as well. When your body is relaxed, your face naturally follows. Your expressions become more genuine, more responsive, and less strained. A slight smile, attentive eyes, and a calm presence can make a significant difference in how young you appear. It is not about forcing expression set, it is about allowing your natural state to come through without tension. Another important factor is confidence, but not the loud or exaggerated kind. Quiet confidence shows up in how you stand, how you walk, and how you interact with others. It is steady, grounded, and not dependent on external validation. When you are comfortable in your own body, you do not feel the need to shrink yourself or overcompensate. This balance creates a presence that feels stable and youthful at the same time. Energy is also communicated through body language. Even without speaking, people can sense whether you are energized or drained. If your movements are slow and heavy, it often reflects low energy. But if your movements are natural and responsive, it shows that your energy is flowing. This does not mean you have to be constantly active, it simply means your body is not weighed down by unnecessary tension or fatigue. That natural energy is often what people interpret as youth. There is also a connection between body language and mindset. When your mind is calm and balanced, your body reflects that state. You do not need to force good posture or controlled movements that happens naturally. Your shoulders relax, your breathing becomes steady, and your presence feels grounded. This alignment between mind and body creates a sense of harmony that is difficult to ignore. Over time, these small physical habits become part of who you are. You no longer think about how you stand or move, it simply feels natural. And because it is natural, it does not look forced. That authenticity is what makes it powerful. People are not just seeing your body, they are feeling your presence. So if you have ever been told that you seem younger than your age, your body language could be playing a major role. It is not about trying to look young, but about moving through life without carrying unnecessary weight in your body. When your posture is aligned, your movements are fluid, and your presence is open, you naturally project a sense of youth that goes far beyond appearance. The final reason you may look younger than your age is something that goes beyond appearance and routine, and that is how mentally and socially active you remain. There is a certain kind of energy that comes from staying engaged with life, and it is very difficult to replicate artificially. When your mind is active and your connections with others are alive, it creates a sense of freshness that naturally reflects in how you look and how you carry yourself. Many people begin to age not just physically, but mentally, when they slowly disconnect from growth and interaction. They fall into repetition, stop challenging their thinking, and limit their exposure to new ideas. Over time, this creates a kind of mental stiffness. Their conversations become predictable, their reactions become automatic, and their overall presence starts to feel less dynamic. This internal stagnation often shows externally, even if they don't notice it themselves. But if you are someone who continues to think, learn, and explore, you are doing something powerful. You are keeping your mind flexible. Whether it is through reading, observing, asking questions, or simply staying curious about the world, you are constantly refreshing your perspective. This mental activity keeps your brain engaged, and that engagement carries into your expressions, your tone, and your overall energy. You don't come across as someone who is settled, you come across as someone who is still evolving. Social connection plays an equally important role. Humans are not designed to exist in isolation for long periods of time. Interaction keeps your emotional and mental systems active. Conversations challenge your thinking, expose you to different viewpoints, and keep your responses alive. When you regularly connect with others, whether through deep conversations or simple interactions, you maintain a certain sharpness and responsiveness that is often associated with youth. There is also something about shared energy. When you spend time with others, especially in positive and meaningful ways, it creates emotional movement. You laugh, you listen, you respond, and you express yourself. This emotional activity prevents you from becoming closed off or withdrawn. It keeps your personality visible and engaged, which naturally contributes to a more youthful presence. People who are socially active often appear more alive because they are constantly exchanging energy with the world around them. Another factor is adaptability. When you stay mentally and socially active, you become more comfortable with change. You are not easily overwhelmed by new situations or unfamiliar environments. Instead, you adjust, learn, and move forward. This adaptability is a strong sign of youth. It shows that your mind is still open and capable of growth. On the other hand, resistance to change often creates tension and rigidity, which can make a person seem older than they are. Your communication style also reflects this activity. When your mind is engaged, your conversations feel natural and fluid. You are present, you listen, and you respond thoughtfully. There is a certain clarity and energy in the way you speak. This makes your interactions more engaging and your presence more noticeable. It is not about saying more, it is about being mentally present in the moment. There is also a deeper sense of purpose that comes from staying active. When you feel connected to something, whether it is learning, creating, or building relationships, you have a reason to stay engaged. This sense of purpose keeps your energy directed and prevents you from drifting into passivity. It gives your daily life meaning, and that meaning reflects in your overall demeanor. People often associate this kind of purposeful energy with youth because it feels driven and alive. Another subtle effect is how this activity influences your mood. When you are mentally and socially engaged, you are less likely to feel stuck or isolated. Your mind has movement, and your emotions have outlets. This balance reduces internal pressure and creates a more relaxed state. That relaxed state shows in your face, your posture, and your overall presence. You appear lighter not because life is easier, but because you are actively participating in it. Over time, this way of living becomes part of your identity. You do not need to force yourself to stay active, it becomes natural. You seek out conversations, you remain curious, and you continue to grow without needing external pressure. This consistency keeps your mind sharp and your energy flowing. So if you have ever wondered why you seem to maintain a youthful presence, this could be one of the strongest reasons. You have not disconnected from life. You are still thinking, still learning, still connecting. And in a world where many people slowly withdraw without realizing it, your ability to stay engaged is not just keeping your mind alive, it is shaping the way you look, the way you move, and the way others experience your presence.